let's pass some laws. So let's talk about when the attorneys knowingly lie, knowingly deceive, when they know the law, but they break the law, right? And of course, that could be for all law enforcement, all those who are supposed to uphold the law. Yes, you know, us everyday citizens have to as well. But let's talk about those who that is their profession, to uphold the law, and they knowingly break the law. So recently I had to go to court. I had an eviction case. It was a wrongful eviction, and I had to go to court for it. It happened because it was kind of a long story, but it was an unlawful eviction. I handed in my rent. It was handed back to me, not because I was problematic, but for other reasons, for their own personal reasons. And so I'm assuming that because the attorneys on this case knew that I was telling the truth, they had a job which was to win the case, and they decided that they would play all sorts of games to win their cases. Like they would send me paperwork in my package room, not in my mailbox. Package goes in my package room. Things that would be sensitive, things that I would need to sign for, and they would send it, or maybe they were going to the building and having the people there that worked there put my mail in the package room, so I could never find my mail, and I would have maybe 5 days to answer or else, and they would do stuff like that over and over, and then I'd get to court and they'd complain that I'm not responding, and the judge would give me favor because she knew, this was my first time, in court. I didn't know what was going on until I finally figured out that they were sabotaging me on purpose, not putting my mail in my mailbox where I would get it for sure, but putting it in a package room under other packages where I would just not find it. But nonetheless, it was a wrongful eviction. It was ruled in my favor. They would seal it because it can't be undone once it's entered in the system. It's entered, so the only thing they can do is seal it so that, according to them, no one will ever see it, that it was there. And also, yeah, during the court period, which was about 6 months, I wasn't paying them because, like I said, it was a wrongful eviction. It was just unnecessary, just stirring up my life for no reason. And, I guess I don't think I'm the only one that they've done that to. I think they've done it to other people. And so basically, like I said, I wasn't paying them for the 6 months that I was in court, and they said, well, they would waive the the rent for those months, etc., etc. And then, I see the paperwork, and I talk it over with the attorney. He says, fine. I said, he said, did you want to stay or did you want to move? I said, I'm going to go ahead and move. And he showed me the paperwork that he printed up for me to sign the agreement that we've come to, an agreement about the apartment. And he says to me, just take a picture of the first page. And I said, okay. And I'm trusting this man. I'm looking him in the eye. We're talking, we're going back and forth. And on one hand, that seemed naive, but on another hand, they did me wrong, right? They unlawfully evicted me. And so I'm thinking, okay, we're settling this thing. It was wrong what you did, etc. And he says to me, the front page shows all zeros. You don't have to pay. You don't have to pay. And he says, just take a picture of the front page, because he had to go into court for another case. I took a picture of the front page, and a few weeks later, after I thought everything was done, the landlord emailed me saying I needed to pay for all the months that I didn't pay. And I said, no, no, no. The agreement was that I wouldn't need to pay. And then she shows me on the second page where there's this tiny little X. I mean, you can barely see it. And that tiny little X that was made says that, well, I guess she can change her mind if she feels like it, right? This is just the nonsense that these people try to pull. So this attorney, I don't know if he told her one thing and told me another, but how about just deliberately breaking the law? I think there should be a law passed that says when those who know the law break the law intentionally, they should be charged. Like any other civilian. they should be charged for their crimes, because that is a crime. To tell me one thing or to try to sabotage me while I was in court, and the entire time it's just a game to them. They don't care, even though they know it and we don't. I remember when I was in court, I actually got sanctioned for the same thing. They were saying that I wasn't sending paperwork back to them. And of course, I was sending it back as soon as I could, but they kept showing up in court saying, she's not doing this and she's not doing that. And I was filing. But because I was new at it, I didn't know that if I don't, if I respond to them, but I don't register it with the court, that they can say that I didn't respond, right? The court has to see something that shows that I did respond. I don't know. I didn't know. And they kept saying that I wasn't responding. And I remember the judge sanctioned me. To pay this attorney $260, because she was saying, Miss Mitchell, you have been in here before, and we've told you that you've got to get the paperwork in, and I'm sorry I have to sanction you. She sanctioned me, right? And so, of course, I had to give it in a money order, I think, or a check or something like that. But I brought the money order to court when I went back to court the next time, because I wanted to give the attorney the money in front of the judge, because there was just a lot of sneaky back and forth stuff. And there was a different judge that day. The judge hadn't showed up. Another judge came in our place, and I told him, I said, I've been sending you the paperwork. And he looked on the computer, because I had happened, I think, like the last time I sent them something just said to me, you have to register it with the court. It's like God was saying to me, you got to register it with the court, or they're going to say they didn't get it. And the judge was able to see that I did respond to whatever they were asking, and the judge canceled the sanction, so I didn't have to pay him. But again, they were in court saying, well, she's not sending the paperwork, and I remember the judge looking and saying, yes, she did. It's right here. She returned the paperwork to you. And like I said, that the sanction was terminated, and I got to keep my money. But I guess on one hand, I'm giving you guys a heads up that attorneys play sneaky game. If you've never had to deal with them, if you have to go to court, be ready for them, because it's not just this is the truth and we're proving the truth, in the court of law. They took whatever oath to do whatever in the court of law. It's not that simple. You're dealing with human beings, sinners like everybody else, because, I think we like to, give credibility to certain people, to doctors and lawyers and judges. And, we just automatically assume, as a society, that they're upstanding, or they're going to do the right thing, or since they know, what needs to be done, they're going to do it the correct way, right? But they were deliberately sabotaging the case, I guess, to win. Maybe, if they don't win, they lose their jobs, or, they're told whatever they're told, or they're trying to, stack up their cases or whatever. But yeah, a lot of sneaky games are being played with these people. And anyway, I did just decide to just settle and move. But yeah, it was unfair. It was an unfair displacement, Yeah, it was unfair. They evicted me. I gave them my rent check. They handed it back to me. Kept it for like 2.5 weeks and then handed it back. And the whole reason why I ended up going to court, it was just something else. It's kind of a long story. But they had never had any issues with me the whole time I was at the building, except for this one little thing. And, they decided that they would evict me. But of course, they didn't say, it was for something else. They made it seem like, oh, we just need to evict you because of whatever. And it was untrue. It was unlawful. And on top of that, they had their attorneys lying and sneaking around to try to win a case, and not to play by the rules, not to play by the law. But if you let them, they'll get you, because their goal is to win that case. So, you got to be ready for them. Got to be sharp, or they will take advantage of you. They will take advantage of you. So, yeah, let's pass a law so that when these lawbreakers knowingly break the law, right? They know the law and they break it, that they have to deal with the consequences. That they're fined, or something. we can't just always brush it under the carpet because, well, I guess they're the law. They're citizens like us. They're citizens like us, and so they should be held accountable too when they do wrong things. So let's pass some laws.